Some animals never needed to lie. The hyena is noise, laughter, movement, testing. It doesn't attack first. It probes. It circles. It looks for reactions. Hyenas survive by pressure, by showing up again and again, by seeing what you'll tolerate, by finding the moment you hesitate. They don't rush strength. They wait for weakness. And that's where people get it wrong. They hear the laughter and think it's a joke. They see the movement and think it's chaos. But the hyena isn't stupid. It's adaptive. It's social. It's relentless. It wins by exhausting you. Now the crocodile. The crocodile doesn't laugh. It doesn't test. It doesn't rush. It doesn't explain itself. It waits. The crocodile survives uncertainty. It doesn't need speed because it controls timing. It doesn't need noise because it owns the space you step into. And that's the mistake people make with real danger. They assume danger looks loud. They assume danger announces itself. They assume if nothing is happening, nothing is wrong. But crocodiles don't chase you on land. They let you come to them. They let you feel comfortable. They let you get close. They let you forget where you are. And then it's over. The hyena teaches you how danger tests boundaries. The crocodile teaches you what happens when you ignore them. One wears you down with repetition. The other ends it with one decision. The hyena is pressure over time. The crocodile is finality. And that's how it shows up in real life. Some people are hyenas. They joke. They push. They keep coming back to see if you'll finally fold. And some people are crocodiles. They don't argue. They don't warn you twice. They don't make threats. They wait until you step too far into their space. And when people don't respect danger, this is what happens. They laugh at the hyena until they're too tired to fight back. They ignore the crocodile until there's no chance to escape. So here's the lesson. Don't confuse noise with weakness. Don't confuse silence with safety. Watch what keeps testing you. But fear what isn't moving at all. Because the hyena will let you think it's just playing. And the crocodile will let you think nothing is wrong. Right up until the moment everything is. Some animals never needed to lie. The hyena tells the truth with pressure. The crocodile tells the truth with patience. And if you don't respect either one, you learn the lesson once.
Some animals never needed to lie, but every now and then, something hears the warning and doesn't back away. It leans in, almost like it heard the danger and took it personally. The honey badger doesn't care. It doesn't size things up the way other animals do. It doesn't stop and think, is this worth it? It hears a threat and moves toward it, not because it doesn't understand risk, because it doesn't respect it. The cobra is different. It doesn't chase. It doesn't need to prove anything. It rises. It spreads. It gives you a clear moment to decide. This is your chance. Walk away or don't. One ignores the warning. The other is the warning. And somehow, those two still cross paths. Not because they're stupid, but because neither one is built to back down. And that's where people get it wrong. They think bad outcomes come from not knowing better, from being unaware, from being careless. But sometimes, everything is clear. The signs are there. The warning is obvious. And someone still steps forward anyway. Not confused, not tricked, just willing to test it. And that's a different kind of decision. Because when instinct speaks, and you answer it with defiance, you're not misunderstanding the situation. You're choosing it.
Some animals never needed to lie. Not every signal is a warning. Some signals are an invitation. The canary sings, bright, loud, unaware of what that sound carries beyond the trees. To the canary, its expression, territory, presence. But to something else, its location. The wolf doesn't need noise. It doesn't need attention. It listens. The forest speaks for it. Every movement, every sound, every signal that wasn't meant for it. Because the wolf understands something the canary doesn't. Not everything that hears you is on your side. The canary never meant to call danger. But intention doesn't change the outcome. Sound travels, and something is always listening. Animals never needed to lie. They were letting you know exactly what happens when you reveal yourself to the wrong thing.
Animals never needed to lie. The lion, the tiger, and the bear. Some animals never needed to lie. Lions, tigers, and bears? Oh my. But some people don't understand what those animals will actually do. They say it like it's a joke, like it's a nursery rhyme, like you can just walk through the forest and nothing's going to happen. But those animals were never part of the joke. The lion doesn't joke. The lion watches. It doesn't chase everything. It doesn't need to. Its presence changes the entire environment. Everything around it knows that space is already claimed. Now the tiger is different. The tiger doesn't announce anything. You don't hear it. You don't see it. You just realize something is wrong. And by the time you feel that, it's already too late. The bear doesn't hide at all. The bear lets you know it's there. Loud, heavy, unmistakable. But here's where people get it wrong. They think because the bear isn't bothering them, they're safe. So they get closer. They take pictures. They test something they don't understand. And then they act surprised when the situation changes. The lion doesn't need to explain itself. The tiger doesn't need to warn you twice. And the bear doesn't need to chase you to prove what it is. Animals never needed to lie. They were never pretending. The warning was always there. People just didn't take it seriously. So the real question isn't what those animals will do. It's why you thought they wouldn't. Because some things in this world don't need to perform for you, to remind you exactly what they are. Animals never needed to lie. They were letting you know exactly what happens when you ignore their warnings.
What if I told you some animals never needed to lie? For them, survival is pure instinct. Honesty is strategy. The hawk survives through focus. It doesn't rush the field. It circles. From above, the noise fades. Movement separates from distraction. Opportunity reveals itself. The hawk doesn't chase everything. It chooses one moment. When it dives, the decision was made long before the fall. The white tiger survives differently. It doesn't circle. It waits, still, contained. Power coiled beneath calm. It doesn't broadcast threat, but when necessary, it's undeniable. The hawk controls distance. The white tiger controls presence. One survives through precision, the other through contained force. Focus narrows the world. Power reshapes it. The hawk isolates a target. The tiger owns the territory. Neither pretends, neither performs. They act when alignment is perfect. That's why you never underestimate either. The danger isn't what you see. It's what you fail to notice. Animals never needed to lie. They revealed their truth in how they moved. Pause. So when your moment comes, will you circle until clarity forms, or wait until the ground belongs to you?
Some animals never needed to lie. The jackass survives through endurance. It doesn't outpace predators. It endures. Storm rolling in, wind cutting sideways, mud sucking at its hooves. It keeps walking, not fast, not graceful, unmoved. Heavy load across mountain switchbacks, loose gravel underfoot, heat rising from stone. It doesn't negotiate terrain. It absorbs it. The jackass plants its feet. When others panic, pressure builds, it stiffens. Push harder, it pushes back. Stubbornness isn't ignorance. It's boundary. It survives because it refuses to collapse. Now the orangutan survives differently. It doesn't absorb chaos. It avoids it. River below, branches swaying overhead, fruit hanging just out of reach. The orangutan pauses. It studies the branch before shifting weight, tests the limb before committing, watches the ripples before crossing. It doesn't rush for food. It calculates risk. Rain begins. Other animals scramble. The orangutan waits. When the storm settles, it moves. Not reactive, deliberate. The jackass presses forward through resistance. The orangutan adjusts before resistance forms. One survives the storm. The other avoids standing in it. Durability carries weight. Foresight lightens it. The jackass resists force. The orangutan redirects it. One endures the mountain, one climbs the trees. Neither is weak. Neither is superior. They are built differently. When the world applies pressure, the jackass tightens. When the world shifts direction, the orangutan adapts. Some survive by refusing to bend. Others survive by knowing when to move. Animals never needed to lie. They simply lived as they were designed to.
Some animals never needed to lie. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and instantly understood that challenging them would cost more than you were willing to pay? That moment isn't fear. It's recognition. The lion doesn't threaten you with movement. It threatens you with presence. Before it roars, before it steps forward, before anything happens, your body already knows the truth. This isn't something to test. That's the warning people miss. The lion doesn't need to prove dominance. It exists as it. And when you ignore that signal, what follows isn't emotion, it's correction. The Indian tiger gives a different warning. It doesn't fill the space, it narrows it. The eyes don't blink. The body doesn't rush. Nothing is wasted. That stillness isn't hesitation. It's calculation. The tiger has already decided what this moment is going to cost and whether you're worth spending it on. People make the same mistake with both. They think danger looks loud. They think power announces itself. They think if nothing is happening, nothing is wrong. But real danger doesn't chase attention. It waits for disrespect. The lion teaches you this. Some warnings are felt, not spoken. The tiger teaches you this. Some warnings are given once and never repeated. And when people miss those signals, it isn't bad luck that follows. It's consequence. Animals never needed to lie.
Some animals never needed to lie. Before the chase, before the teeth, before the escalation, the warning comes first. The hyena survives through pressure. It doesn't pretend to be silent. Its presence carries. A low call across distance, circling movement, eyes that linger too long. It doesn't attack immediately. It tests. It watches for weakness. It listens for hesitation. The jackal survives differently. It doesn't dominate space. It reads it. Head tilted, ears forward, stillness before motion. The jackal doesn't charge into chaos. It studies the cracks inside it. But the jackal warns too. A posture shift. A line crossed. A moment of stillness that wasn't there before. Neither animal escalates without signal. The disturbance is visible. The boundary is visible. If conflict follows, it wasn't sudden. The hyena pressures until something yields. The jackal moves when something falters. One confronts, one calculates. Both make something clear. If you ignored the warning, you chose the outcome. Animals never needed to lie. The signal was already there. The only question is, did you see it? Some animals never needed to lie. The black panther moves like a shadow that learned to breathe. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't warn you. It just exists in the space between what you see and what you were never meant to notice. Its truth is silence. the kind that holds its own power without explaining a thing. The boa is the opposite. It doesn't chase. It doesn't sprint. It waits. It trusts the timing of its own stillness, the slow truth that pressure can be more decisive than speed. No panic, no hurry, just a quiet calculation of what fits in its grasp. One survives by disappearing. One survives by patience. Two different strategies, same honesty. Animals never needed to lie. They just mastered truths we keep trying to avoid. The thylacine, the Tasmanian tiger, was a creature that confused people from the moment they saw it. A marsupial shaped like a wolf, a jaw built to open impossibly wide, a predator that didn't need theatrics because its design already told the truth. It didn't roar, it didn't posture, it didn't exaggerate its strength. It hunted quietly, efficiently, and honestly. And because humans misunderstood it, they feared it. And because they feared it, they erased it. That's the human pattern. Fear what they don't understand. Destroy what doesn't lie to make them comfortable. Then there are the Catarrhines, the old-world primates, baboons, macaques, mandrills, social, expressive, full of signals that leave no room for confusion. A Catarrhine doesn't hide its hierarchy. It doesn't pretend to like you if it doesn't. Its warnings are clear. Its bonds are real. Its aggression is honest. Where the thylacine lived in quiet clarity, Catarrhines live in loud truth. Two different languages, same principle. Authentic behavior, zero deception. Humans, meanwhile, spend more energy rewriting intentions than living them. More effort crafting impressions than understanding instincts. More time performing than signaling honestly. The thylacine was lost because people misread silence. Catarrhines thrive because their meaning is impossible to misunderstand. Maybe the lesson lives somewhere between the two. You can be quiet without being weak. You can be expressive without being manipulative. And you never have to lie about who you are just to survive someone else's misunderstanding. Animals never needed to lie. Only humans do, usually because they're terrified of being seen accurately.